What's up, everybody? I put out on Threads and Twitter and X, LinkedIn, Facebook, basically saying that I am putting together a POV BTS point of view or behind the scenes setup with a GoPro attached to a camera. And I wanted to basically see who would be interested in such a thing. And once I got that determined, share what, how, and why, all that stuff. So here we go. Today I'm going to show you how I'm setting up a GoPro 12 Hero, or is it Hero 12? I don't know. I'm going to show you how I'm setting it up on my Nikon Z7 II with the Tamron lens and show you just the ins and outs of what it all looks like. Now, here's the interesting thing. Typically, when I do this, I've always used my camera in the past. I'm going to start using the GoPro from now on, but the way I would do it is I had this small rig device, this little cold shoe mount that would sit on top of the hot shoe of my camera. I would secure it in place, and then I would mount my camera on top and aim it at the client. You wouldn't actually see the lens. The view of from the iPhone is not wide enough that you would see the lens, so it would be a pretty good perspective. But you get the POV, but you don't get the BTS as much as you do the POV. So what I thought I would do is try the GoPro out instead and see what we can do with that. Now I've got a family session coming up, and with that I'm going to be using my Godox strobes. So I'm going to have a Godox trigger on top of my hot shoe so I can actually fire my strobes. So that takes away the hot shoe capability from this setup. So here's what I'm doing instead in order to attach the GoPro. So I use an L bracket on all of my cameras. I have an L bracket. This is from Really Right Stuff. And what I'm doing is I am using a small Arca Swiss clamp, and attached to that, and this clamp actually has its own little cold shoe here. I know I've got it all set up. I don't want to take it all apart, but you can see it has this cold shoe here. And then I took another one of these little small rig cold shoe ball mounts, and I took off the little disc at the top, the tightener, and I'll show you why I had to do that. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this onto the L part of the L bracket all the way at the top, and I'm going to clamp it down. All right, now it's clamped down. Okay, so here is why I had to take off this disc. On the GoPro, I have the media mod on here, which means that with the media mod, I have a cold shoe here, I have a cold shoe here, I've got ports in the back, I can plug in a microphone, it has a built-in microphone. The downside of this is it actually separates the bottom of the GoPro so much that I can't get to the tripod thread with the standard ball head this with the locking disc in place. So I had to take it off in order for it to reach nicely without having to use another adapter and then add more bulk or weight to this setup. When it's all in place, this is what it looks like. What's going to happen is that you're going to see the lens as well as the client. I will be able to digitally zoom in if I want to. I could get additional brackets and move it up forward so it's actually closer to the front of the lens, but to get the BTS part, the behind the scenes part, I do like the fact that you're going to see the actual lens as well. Now here's what is really good is I actually have a mode on my GoPro. I have a mode that I call POV, which actually turns on horizon lock. So by having horizon lock on, as I am turning vertical or horizontal, the camera will continue to have whatever's at the top to always be at the top, which means that I can go to vertical mode, photograph the client, and in the recording on the GoPro, it will still look the same. It will not go from horizontal to vertical. The GoPro will just make its magical adjustments in camera to keep the horizon locked in place. So that means that my behind the scenes, my POV will always look smooth and buttery no matter how I am photographing the client. And you will always see the lens in front, which I don't mind with this lens. If I'm using a smaller lens, you won't see the lens at all, or you won't see as much of the lens. You'll see more of the client. Because this is 4K, it means I can also crop in digitally and actually see more of the client that way. I can also zoom in the GoPro itself if I want to go to a closer view, a closer perspective. I could do that as well, depending on the situation. In this case, I'm going to be photographing a family. There'll be multiple people, I think about 7 people. So that wide view would actually be really good because I don't know what kind of situation, what scene, what kind of room I'm actually going to be in. So this is my POV BTS setup for this session. Otherwise, for sessions where I will not have the trigger for my Godox strobes, in that situation, the GoPro will be on top of the camera on my hot shoe. Also keep in mind that sometimes I use my phone to play music, like I will have music playing as well to keep the kids interested in what I have going on and looking at me. So in that case, if I was not using a strobe, I would actually have my phone on top of my camera as well, potentially, to keep that in line of sight and whatnot. I could even have a video playing so the kids see the video on top of my camera as well. So lots of options for different mounting. It's also worth noting I could put my phone on top of the GoPro because I do have the cold shoe here, but that does add more weight to the side of the camera. It will be less balanced, so I don't think I'm going to do that, but it's always a possibility that I could do if I wanted. I could also do another clamp on the bottom and have it underneath, but again, why add more weight? Anyway, that's it.